got a couple of questions here from the audience. We'll try and get through as many as we can. Of course, if we don't have time for them, contact information for our speakers is all on screen now. Joel, this question dropped in during your segment. Perhaps you want to lead us off. It's a question looking for some sort of best practice here. And if a client wants, me to do something in the course of my representation of that client, which might result, but I'm not entirely sure, but it may result in me violating a rule of professional conduct, what should one do? So if I suspect that I may be doing something to violate the rule of professional conduct, what should I do?
Okay, thank you. Happy to answer that. And as Amir just kind of alluded to, many states bar associations have ethics boards or sections that will render advisory opinions. You can also contact an attorney who practices in the area of ethics or professional responsibility to get an opinion letter and their advice as well. Those were the two tacks that I would recommend taking.
Thank you so much, Joel. Dennis, this question dropped in during your segment. Again, it's looking for some best practice. And when it comes to documenting compliance, what are your tips for documenting compliance with the rules requirement?
Good question. And, the best thing to do if you're dealing with a client and an issue comes up is to memorialize the issue or the question, and then the advice and the agreed upon resolution with the client. A lot of times, clients will come back and say, "Why are you sending me that memo?" But you just have to say to them, "Look, this issue came up. We discussed it, and I want to make sure that you and I both understand what we talked about and what we agreed to." And I always tell them, read this, because if I am misunderstanding anything that you said or any of the facts here, let me know. And I do that on a regular basis, because I get lawyer clients calling me saying, "Here's my issue. What can I and can I not do?" I send them a memo.
Thank you so much, Dennis. Amir, this last question is for yourself. And we've talked a lot during this presentation about the importance of cybersecurity. What's the best way to protect yourself against a legal malpractice claim that perhaps has resulted from the failure of your cybersecurity measures?
Yeah, that's a good question. So the best way to do it is to make sure you're talking to the correct vendors, the correct IT people, and documenting and receiving from them a comprehensive explanation of how they are protecting the client's information. So you want to make sure that not only are they doing it, but that you get something from them, and preferably in writing or an outline indicating, here's what we have done. So if there is in fact a breach, you can go to the client and say, "Look, we've spoken to somebody about the best way to secure it. Here's what they told us they are doing. And we've been following these protocols. So get the protocols, know them, and follow them."